Hello and welcome to Business Unmuted, a business discussion live on LinkedIn and shared on platforms including YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As ever, we're kindly sponsored by Virtue BMW, which is part of Gateshead-based Virtue Motors PLC. If you're in the market for a new, used or fleet vehicle, its dealerships are in Stockton, Durham, Sunderland, Malton or York. This week, we're looking at the City of Culture initiative with representatives of the 2025 bidders, County Durham and Bradford region. And joining us with the current City of Culture, Coventry. In the studio, we have Sally Dixon, Assistant Director of Partnerships at Beamish Museum, who's leading on business engagement for County Durham's bid. And down the line, we have Mick Chandsoor, Head of Partnerships at Bradford 2025, which is the city's bid, and Charlotte Booth, who's the Programme Development Manager at the Coventry City of Culture 2021, and which is all spectacular, of course, because it's been going, but unusually, Charlotte, not January to December, because the pandemic, you've slipped your dates, haven't you?
That's correct. So we had to move our dates to May. So we're 6 months in and we will finish in May 22.
Okay, well, the City of Culture bid was initially a European thing. European City of Culture, a great garland on some major city. Now, after Brexit, it's a UK thing, and you've won this, Charlotte. So how have the first 6 months gone?
Yeah, it's been really good. So we obviously had a challenge with the pandemic at the start. And as I said, we moved from a January start to a May start. So it's timed quite nicely coming out of the pandemic with the restrictions started to ease slightly. So it was nice as a city for us to be able to really start our City of Culture. So in June, we had our Coventry Moves event, which was our opening. That was music, theatre and dance, a really exciting start to our year. And then we went into the summer, we had our Assembly Festival Gardens, which was a lovely outdoor space that really attracted residents from the city and visitors. And we hosted lots of different events there. It was a real success story. That's now finished, but it was so successful. We'll be opening again in the spring. So really excited to see that return. We also did what we called our Summer of Surprises. That saw lots of pop-up events across the city. Because of at the time of the restrictions, they were quite secretive. So you could have been sat in a pub garden and suddenly there was an event, a music event could have suddenly popped up. So really exciting for those people who got to experience that. We're also really lucky that we're hosting the Turner Prize at the Herbert alongside the biennial. So we've had lots of things going on, and how lucky for us that we've been able to come out of the pandemic and have this great year of celebration.
Well, definitely lucky for you, and as well as the pandemic and making the most of the difficulties, I suppose, you've also managed to use culture to weave a golden thread through the different elements of your city's life and economy. Just maybe explain to us how that has worked out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what's lovely, it isn't just about City of Culture or the culture side. We've tried to really listen to what the people of Coventry wanted and really look at how we can help the economy of Coventry by winning the city the title. So we've got our City of Culture shop. We've also, with the grant funding, we've been able to strengthen our cultural infrastructure. So we've seen investment into the Belgrade Theatre, into the cathedral. We've helped open the Empire, which is a really successful music venue in the city, so that's really helped our nighttime economy, and that has been a huge success. We've also with the investment we've had on the back of the title, been able to invest in our historic properties as well. So Draper's Hall has just opened. That was a building that was empty for 30 years, and we've used money to regenerate it, and now that's going to be the home of our Coventry music, but also a more classical music venue in the city. So it just shows the breadth of what we've been able to do with that investment, and really bring more visitors into the city and really strengthen our economy on the back of it.
Well, Charlotte, you definitely tell us a great deal of what you've done. And my researcher, Josh, he's great. He produces this programme and he really worked hard digging around. And I'm going to read some data. Tell me if he's got it right. Check his homework. According to this, you've got 172.6 million of direct investment since you won the title. You've found that 74% of the people claim it's increased their pride in their city. The Coventry City of Culture Trust has created directly 102 jobs, including 14 apprentices. Since May, this is amazing, 141,000 tickets have been issued for live events and 52,000 more for free unticketed events. This is really interesting. 260, more than 260,000 people have engaged with events online, and you've made the arts accessible, a key focus of the trust, with 43% of tickets booked by people on lower incomes, and in total goodness me, 673 local people participating in workshops, and 80% of schools engaged. I think Josh, has he done his homework correctly?
Absolutely, and it just shows, I mean, that's 6 months in, and how incredible are those figures. And it also shows the diversity of the programme. It isn't just about events, it is about supporting the local cultural sector, education, and it just shows what you can achieve. It's great for our city.
Well, Charlotte, I'm going to ask you to stand back, and we'll come back to you at the end, but I want to talk to Sally and to Mick from Durham and Bradford respectively, because from the North East and Yorkshire, these two cities are in friendly competition to achieve City of Culture for 2025. It happens every 4 years. So I'll turn to you first, Sally. What is Durham's primary offer? What are you saying to the government and the judges?
Right, well, number one, Graham, is that we're talking about a county-wide approach. Yes, the title City of Culture, but that this must reach out beyond Durham City. And I think for us, it's tracking back to 2009, and back then we'd gone for the 2013 title. We were shortlisted but didn't get it. We weren't ready then, but we very much are now. And there's been an incredible wealth of development across that the past decade or so. Just look at my museum, Beamish. We're investing 20 million to our site, building a 50s town and farm. Look at Bishop Auckland, for example. You've got the developments driven by Jonathan Ruffer, a Spanish gallery. Right there, you've got the biggest private collection of Spanish art in the UK.
The Zerberans.
Exactly. It's between Sports Direct and Wetherspoons. It's quirky, but it's incredible. You must go. You've got the Faith Museum coming online. You've got Kinran. So I'm talking about things that aren't in Durham City here. You've got Bowes Museum, you've got Locomotion, and in 25 we're celebrating the bicentenary of the Dyne to Stockton Railway. So lots of things happening, but you've also got some brilliant grassroots work going on with communities as well. But we think not enough people know about this. It's really, really important to profile it. This is why we need this so much. We've got to get the word out there about how amazing County Durham is. But also the wide North East. If folk come to Durham, people don't just holiday on county boundaries, they will visit the wider North East. So it's a tourism piece, but it's also about placing culture at the heart of our developments over the next sort of 20 to 30 years, really. And the building blocks are in place, track records there. Lumiere happened last weekend. I mean, wow, it's incredible. But again, that was happening locations across the county. So, and
you have had some guts, because you've challenged the very premise of City of Culture by not making a bid that's a city.
Well, we have. I think we can do this differently in a new way, but in a way that resonates with communities in County Durham and is right for the place. And the programme will be kind of grassroots, developed, ground up. I mean, yes, there'll be kind of epic and intimate and spectacular moments, but really it has to kind of not be about 1 year. It's got to kind of spark and catalyse, the next decade of development, really. It's got to kind of, and it's driven by Durham Culture Partnership. That's a grouping of the kind of key cultural organisations, about 40 of us. So it's kind of genuinely kind of locally driven. I think that gives what we're doing real strength, and that will help with legacy. So it's not just that year, it's kind of, this is us, this is what we're doing in the North East.
Well, look, let's turn to Bradford now. And Mick, by the way, I happen to live just adjacent to County Durham, but there's no bias in me, because one of my first jobs in broadcasting...
I hope not.
No, but Mick knows this, but one of my first jobs in broadcasting was on Pennine Radio years ago, and it's a fantastic place. A most cosmopolitan city in the north of England, in my view. Tell us what your primary sales pitch is for giving Bradford City of Culture 2025.
I think it very much is very similar to our last presenter just talked about. I think that it's the change that it's going to make to Bradford. We're the youngest city in the whole of Europe. We have got 67%, which is green. We've got a manufacturing kind of industry which is 6.7% more than anywhere else in the UK. We've got so much to offer to the UK, where if and when we become the city of culture, again, Bradford, very similar. It's a very diverse place. Ethnicity-wise, we've got a huge amount of different faiths and culture, religions, and who live together. And I think what it is that in the past, a lot of people look at Bradford and they're very negative about it. We're going through a big, massive change. We've got Bradford Live coming up. We've got the new markets that's been changed. We've got a few galleries that are coming together. So there's a lot of change. But where we've been really, really successful with the bid period is the business community that's behind us. We've really found that the whole business community, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's digital, whether it's food, and Bradford is very well known for its food, have all come together to say, we really want to support this bid. So it's really good for us to see how the business community is really wanting to get involved with that. Obviously, on top of that, like Coventry, we've got very good engagement and participation from the local community, because that's the most important thing. You have to have that buy-in from your local community as well. On top of that, we've got our educational partnerships. We've got 4 colleges. We've got the university as well. Again, they're either partners or strategic partners or educational partners. And they're following that journey with us, and they want to continue that journey with us all the way through till hopefully when we win the City of Culture. But I think it's the perception that it gives. I mean, to a city, we're bang in the centre, I would say, of UK. So it's very easily, it's very accessible.
That is almost true, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, people don't realise that there's these small little things like that. We are bang in the centre, of the UK. So it's very easy for people from up north, from down south, to come to the middle and enjoy. Not just locally, nationally, but internationally as well. People can come, and I think those other links that we have nationally and internationally with artists from the cultural sector, from the heritage sector, people know what Bradford's all about. There's a lot of history attached to Bradford. Bradfordians are very proud people. I'm a Bradfordian. I'm very proud of where I'm from, and being from Bradford and fighting the cause for Bradford. And I think again, just to reiterate, I think that getting so many businesses at such an early stage on board, who for I would say probably about 75% of them have never ever been involved in anything to do with the arts, culture, or heritage. On top of that, we've got a number, probably about 30% of those businesses that are from the Asian business community. Again, I would say that all 30% of them have never ever been involved in the arts, culture, or heritage. So we're now changing that perception about what arts, heritage, and culture is. We're also obviously talking to a lot of manufacturers about STEM/STEAM. How arts can influence, science, technology, manufacturing, and engineering.
Yes.
And we've got colleges and manufacturers working together on a number of different projects. I'm not going to say too much because we want to make it a big, massive hoo-ha once those projects are completed and stuff. So we're in it to win it.
Well, you've both given a great pitch. I'm going to interrupt you there, Mick. You've both given a great pitch. I just want to say to viewers and listeners of this podcast, of course, we record this podcast in the north of England, and these are the 2 north of England bids, or North East and Yorkshire bids. There are others around the country, but unfortunately we're a bit biased towards these 2. Now, can I just ask about business? Mick, you alluded to it, and I'll come to you in a minute, Charlotte, on this. Sally, are you engaging with business? What do you want businesses to do in order to engage?
We've had a great response so far from the business community. We're working with the North East England Chamber of Commerce, with Durham Business Group, with Visit County Durham, and Durham University are a key partner in the bid. I mean, they're really kind of throwing everything at this, which is fantastic. So their development alumni team working with us too. So right now, I need all the businesses in the North East to get behind County Durham and show you support, because this is about the wider region. We're the smallest to the northeast of the 9 English regions, and we collaborate. You know, we've got a track record doing that.
How would you want them to get behind you? Is it writing letters?
There's a landing page on the Durham 2025 website, and there's a back the bid page, and we're not asking for money at this point in time. We just need you to show your support. So that's basically kind of the call to action, really. That would kind of position Durham to really, really impress the judges. I mean, I'm impressed by what Mick was saying there about where they are. But that's what we need you to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mick, you presumably have the similar approach. You're getting businesses involved. Do you have a page for them to sign up and sign some kind of pledge?
Yeah, they can visit our website, and from there, you know, there's a number of links to our information email account, and from there then one of us will pick that up and get in touch with the businesses and stuff. But I think that, you know, going back, I think it's key, and I think this is where it's worked really well for Coventry, with having so many businesses on board and having that support of the businesses, because it just gives you that extra kind of comfort to say, do you know what, the business community is behind us. Because if the business community is behind you, then it's a lot easier then to get the general public on board as well from that particular city as well.
Okay, can I go back to Charlotte then? And Charlotte, tell me about how you engage with business and what the result of that has been.
Yeah, so right at the start of the bidding process, we were really keen to engage with businesses. We set up our 2021 club, which are all the businesses that came together and sponsored the bid and have been supporting us during our whole of the culture year. And we work really closely with Coventry and Yorkshire local enterprise partnership, with the West Midlands Combined Authority and our Chambers of Commerce. So absolutely, I think it's just really important to build those networks and include everyone to make it a real city bid would be my advice.
And is there anything you've heard from Sally and Mick that stood out for you?
Absolutely, everything they were saying. I really want to go to the County of Durham now and Bradford. They're both of their bids sound really exciting on what they've got going on. I think there's a common theme about listening to what their areas want. It is place focused, and I think that's the key to any successful bid. And for even if you're not successful, I think that's valuable information to be working with your local communities and really listen to what they want, and then fit that into your cultural strategy. So I think both of them sound really exciting.
Well, you know, government ministers have been known to watch this podcast. I had Rishi Sunak on it a few weeks ago. So I'm going to give you each 30 seconds. Keep to time now, keep to time. Pretend that you're talking to the Arts Minister. What would you say about why they should choose your bid? And I'll go to Mick first, you can end. Mick.
So I think that Bradford is it's the right time for Bradford to be the city of culture. We've got a lot to offer. We're the youngest city. We have a number of initiatives, arts projects that are happening. We've already got a number of businesses involved, as well as the Chambers, as well as YABA, which is the Yorkshire Asian Business Association, as well as a number of other organisations. We've got education on board. We've got the voluntary sector on board, and most importantly, we've got the people of Bradford behind us. And I think that we are in a very strong position to show that Bradford can put on an absolutely amazing City of Culture 2025.
Well, look, Mick, thank you very much. Sally, you get the last word on this.
Right.
30 seconds.
So I described County Durham as a sleeping giant. I mean, yes, we've got an incredible wealth of assets, particularly around heritage, but it's a place of great diversity, particularly around socio-economic diversity. The county's experienced a lot of economic restructuring with the closure of the mines, etc. So there is a serious amount of work to do. What we can do in County Durham is showcase the unique and crucial and important and vital role culture can have in economic regeneration, but also in driving social change in a lasting way. We can show how that's done in County Durham. We've got a track record there. The need is there. Yes, there's some Durham Cathedral, obviously Durham City, lovely, but that's almost like the chocolate on the top. There's so much more to Durham. So it's high time the North East grabbed the investment it needs, particularly coming out of the pandemic, and just basically show the UK to the world. So we're up for doing it in Durham.
Thank you very much. But good pitches, don't you think, Sharon? Charlotte, do you think they're both good pitches?
Absolutely fantastic pictures.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Sally. That's just
you.
about it from today's episode of Business Unmuted, but a little bit of a footnote. We've been covering recruitment issues extensively on Business Unmuted over the last few months, and it's a very real problem facing all sectors. So in the future, we're thinking about highlighting some of the senior roles that are available in the North East and Yorkshire just at the end of the programme like this. So if you want to get in touch with me and let me know if you've got a senior leadership or a manager role in your business that's recruiting, do let me know. For instance, my friend and colleague Duncan Bannatyne's group, they're looking for a finance director at the moment. It's got a pay packet of over £100,000. It's based at Bannatyne's headquarters in Darlington, a very dynamic role with lots of perks. So if you'd like to express an interest in that role, get in touch with me, Graham Robb, on my LinkedIn page, and I'll pass you on. And if you equally have a role, we might cover maybe 3 or 4 each week on Business Unmuted, on the sort of manager and leadership area. Maybe just help lubricate the way in which people can recruit to these important roles as the economy picks up. In the meantime, that's it for today's episode. I'll catch you next week for another Business Unmuted.